Hey everybody, how are we all tonight? Hoping that everyone's had a great day and that we can move on into another golden week on a golden Monday evening. How cool is that we've got access to the tools and the systems that we have today? So look at that, I've even got the right date on there tonight. I tell you what, we are getting seriously upmarket here. However, our sound controller, operator / co-host in the other room has decided that his computer won't join the webinar tonight. So there's been a bit of swearing and arm waving going on. We've now got him on another computer and he's wearing his skirt and he's called Jan. So we're just trying to make sure that he doesn't get too carried away with himself. Okay, let's get moving right along with this. And are you there, Mr. Dobson?
I certainly am, Mr. Miller. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. Well
All
done.
right. Thank you.
So, I'm going to hand over this segment to you.
Thank you.
And we're
going to have a look at, okay.
With you about Mr. Roger.
A very handsome man. Look at that. Yes, it's absolutely my privilege to interview this gentleman. He's not only a good friend of mine, but he's also my personal sponsor. So you know, this team all started, you could say, from this man. And tonight we're just going to have a quick interview. I'm going to ask a couple of questions, and then we're going to get into the usual what's happening. So, Roger Yates, are you there, sir?
Hello, Brent. Hello, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate this. Roger, we sort of got rocking with this business only about a year ago, but can you first tell us a little bit when you started and when it was? And
well, I was introduced to Karatbars by a friend almost 3 years ago now, in June of 2017, and I thought it looked like a great idea, and I joined it straight away, bought myself a VIP pack, thinking I'd set the world on fire straight away. But then I also went overseas for 7 weeks, and it was not convenient to talk business whilst I was away. I was on a big family trip, and little by little I got going when I came back, and built a small group of people. I finally was able to contact my friend Brent to get him organised in Queensland. We were doing business together in Queensland and South Australia. And then we finally decided we're going to bite the bullet, and Brent and I went to the big event in Dubai in March, last year, March 20.
Wasn't that amazing?
And in Dubai, we met Harold Seitz personally. We met all the top leaders, Nitsa Nakos, Brian Cromley, Brian McGinty, and of course Michael
Delco, Mr. Delco, Michael L. Delco,
and all those guys. And once we'd been there, we were totally turned on. We had belief before, but that gave us total faith and belief. From that point onward, we've never looked back, and the business expanded from a small group of people to something like 700 people in Australia now, and some parts of the world.
Incredible.
And thank you so much to the leaders that we've attracted. Remember that no matter who we are, whether it be myself or Brent or whoever we are, we're only as good as the people that we attract. And we, of course,
so, Roger, can I just take it back a step? In 2017, what was available in Karatbars at the time?
Well, the biggest problem I had, I knew the business looked like a good idea, but I had no real upline support whatsoever. And so I struggled along doing my own thing, just almost working blind for a while. And eventually I decided to find out who would be the top person in the company, and was able to find it was Tammy Morrison. And I contacted Tammy by phone and then by Skype. And Brent and I had chats with Tammy on Skype in the early days, and that gave us the belief that we needed. Yeah. Even then, we had to do our own thing for some time. And of course, as I said, the turning point was the decision to make the big, fantastic trip to Dubai.
Yeah. Yeah, that was not only the belief. She had built a team and she started from scratch, and at least we had some upline help, didn't we? So in 2017, there was just the gift cards, wasn't there? And at that stage, what were you doing? Just saving in small increments of gold?
Well, we've gone through many stages in the last couple of years. But of course, once we attracted, thank you very much to Brent, attracted Derek and his rapidly expanding team, things really took off, and we have so much to thank Derek for giving us the tools and the technical support and the leadership. And we're attracting leaders who are attracting more leaders. And of course, Derek is a wonderful example for us all to link to, because he's got so many skills that we can all benefit from.
Yeah, so we had 1 gram, 2.5 and 5 gram gold cards. That's all we had. And then, of course, the gold-backed crypto came along, and that's when things got exciting. But you're right. Today we have the support, and anyone that's listening here that's only new. Like we would often, Roger and I would often say that there's not much happening in Australia, but that's okay. We'll create it. We'll attract those type of people, and fortunately the Dereks and the Carolines and the Jans and the Ducks and all the young ones that are coming on. We have a fantastic support system now, and it's only getting easier. So how do you see the rest of the year unfolding?
I've got a wonderful feeling that we're going to be experiencing in the next 6 to 12 months abundance and success and wealth, in fact, far above my wildest dreams. I feel that I'm absolutely positive that we couldn't be in a better state, a better place in this funny world we're in than we could possibly be. With Karatbars, we've got the right vehicle at the right time. So much is in our favor, and we're still all coming together. So we're in an amazing position.
Well, thank you. I second that. I totally agree, and thank you for reaching out and asking. At least exposing this wonderful business to me, to allow me to research and make a decision. And you've hit the top of Gold Director Elite 3. I've watched you from the start. It's been amazing, mate, and so proud of you. You came up to Brisbane with your lovely partner Joe in December. We had the biggest meeting here in Brisbane, and got to spend some time with you. And he's such a positive guy, incredible. So thanks for coming on. We just wanted to get to know you a little bit. We'll probably do this the first part of the segment a little bit more often now on different people, and get to know the team and what makes them tick and where they come from, because really, you can have a lot of experience, and I know you've had a bit of previous experience in this type of business, but you don't, with this coin that's coming, and with the programs with the K merchants, you don't really need to be a great networker to build a huge team with this, do you, Roger?
Look, the thing with Karatbars, even though it has all the attractions of network marketing, it has none of the distractions of compulsory commitment and compulsory ordering every month and so forth. We're just an amazing marketing plan, and so fair. And yet, of course, we have a product that everybody in the world needs more than ever, regardless of, we don't even sell anything. We're simply helping people transfer their negative currency into positive currency.
That's it. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, well, thank you, Roger. I really appreciate you coming on. I know you're on here every week. You haven't missed one, I don't believe, and I love your commitment, and you're a true leader, and thanks for just giving us a little bit, opening up a little bit about you. So we might just jump on to the next slide. I'll do a couple more.
Thank you, Brent.
And we'll talk to you later. Thanks, Roger.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so I've got a little announcement to make in a minute. So tonight we're sponsored by, as usual, our Easy Shopping cards and Loveday lubricants. I want to talk a little bit about the Easy Shopping cards, because I don't believe there's any other Karatbars country that has what we have with Easy Shopping cards, and that's the ability to get free gold on our groceries, our fuel, our discount liquor, our electronics, sports goods, you name it, car products. It's incredible, between 2 and 5%. And Woolies, I suppose Australia, we're a different country where we have 2 major grocery chains that sort of control over 70%. So fortunately, we have one of those. We're able to set up an app on and purchase, do what we normally do. We have to eat, and in a time like this, we certainly, even though we're not driving much, we certainly have to support the Dr. Dan, don't we? So it's a brilliant, and Derek, it's a great concept that you've brought on. We've done this because we wanted people, to get your gold, you need an account. How do you get an account? You simply log in here, and you can see the arrow there. You must put your your e-wallet number in there. So where it says affiliate member ID, that's your public wallet. And to do that, you have to have a Karatbars account. So this is designed for all the affiliates to help talk to people. I mean, it's as simple now as saying, how would you like to get some gold on your groceries, you know, or your fuel or whatever, you know? So that there's a simple step-by-step procedure there that Derek set up for easy shopping cards, and I know he's brainwaving with a couple of other people trying to make this system even more smoother, where it'll be a tap and go system. So really brilliant. Work out how much you spend on groceries every year, and then work out what's the rest of that, Carolyn. And it's amazing. It really is. So the complete no-brainer for me. Why wouldn't you get cash gold? Especially when, of those of us that know a little bit more about cash gold and what it can do, and the fact that we're getting that for free. So anyway, that's easy shopping cards. And I'd like to make the special announcement before I hand back to Derek for the rest of the presentation. And the breaking news is I've been working on this for the last few months now. But could you imagine also adding to that gold for your phone bills? Where else but here at goldrocks.me. And it's ComChoice. I don't know if a few of you people on the call may know this gentleman, Glenn Bucky. He is the general manager of ComChoice. I've had my phone with Glenn for about 7 years now, and really, really happy with the service. He's an exceptional business phone solutions operator. He also deals with home phones and internet. So this guy's incredible. I'm going to have him on here next Monday, and we're also going to be able to talk to him. He'll leave his phone number, and I know whenever I've had any problem over the years, and I have this plan at $60 now, and it's basically so simple. I love my streaming. I never go over, and it's just a basic bill. And so I think Glenn's going to offer us 4%, but he'll talk about that next week. So that's going to be cash gold on our comms, ladies and gentlemen. So I think that's pretty cool. Another string to our bow, and ability for all of us to go out and talk to people. If nothing else, they may just want to be customers. And if we open them up to that, who knows, those that see this business in the way that we do here tonight, who knows where it'll take us. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to plant that seed. I'll be back talking with Glenn next week, and I want to hand this back to the main man himself, Mr. Derek Miller.
Hey, thanks, Brent. We are going to have a quick run through here. We're going to run through this 7-minute video again. But before we do that, we want to talk about the fact that we are affiliates. We do not represent the company Karatbars. We don't speak on their behalf, etc. What we do is we give you insights into what we have discovered and how we build the business. So please make sure that you understand that. Now we're going to play a little 7.5-minute video, one that we've worked on. A few people last week picked up on the very obvious mistake that I put in. And I'm saying that tongue-in-cheek because I read the script and didn't even pick up on it until we played it on the webinar. So let's have a listen to this little video.
Hello, welcome to a brief overview of what we think is undoubtedly the most powerful financial literacy program in existence today. We have elected to use the Karatbars system, and I'm going to share with you how to turn your spending habits into saving habits and get paid in both cash and gold for doing it. But I want to begin with a quick question. When you think about most Australians and New Zealanders alike, in a very general sense, do you think they have a plan to deal with the economic turmoil we see coming at us today? Do you think they have the ability to withstand what we see happening in the markets? Let me ask you another question. Do you? And if you do, how's that plan actually working out for you? You see, I've asked that question literally thousands of times in the last few years, and the answer that usually comes back is probably pretty similar to what you were just thinking. If that's true for you, I want to share with you why we have chosen to go down this road and what we can actually do about what is happening. You see, the numbers never lie. They will always tell us the truth. Since the early 1970s, inflation has eroded over 98% of the dollar's purchasing power, while gold, the vehicle that once backed our currency, has soared in value by over 4,300%. We can look at it like this. In a typical household making typical purchases every single week since 2000 to present day, secondary education expenses have gone up 203%. Medical expenses 195%. Primary education 159%. Insurance 118%. Childcare, kindergarten 90%. Groceries have doubled, and housing has had a 240% increase. Let me ask you this. Have you seen a 240% increase in the real wages that you can bring home in the last 20 years? I don't think so, and that's exactly the problem. We just can't get ahead of the inflation curve. This is why we're finding it so difficult to create any meaningful savings, get ourselves out of debt, and stop living pay packet to pay packet. Listen, here's the simple truth. It is absolutely impossible to outrun an exponential inflation on our linear incomes, and the inflation that the government tells us doesn't exist is very real, and here's the proof. We can look at it like this. If you had $100,000 in cash in 1970, that cash today is worth a lot less. In fact, you would need $1,177,750 to purchase the same products you did in 1970. That means it's lost 91.5% of the buying power it once had. If you had acquired $100,000 worth of gold in 1970 and just left it to just sit and accumulate, no interest, no nothing, that gold today is worth a staggering $4,164,615 at the time of this video. Gold has soared relative to the declining paper because they keep printing it, and there's no store of value behind it. That's what's called a fiat currency, an unbacked currency, and Voltaire said it like this: a fiat currency will always return to its intrinsic value, zero. So everything we read and everything we hear and everything we see says it's valuable, it's important to get some of our portfolio in gold. Hold some gold and hedge yourself against inflation. But there's a problem. Gold is expensive at $24,000 to $25,000 an ounce. Many of us just don't have the $24,000 or $25,000 that we can peel off and go get ourselves an ounce at a time to create any real meaningful inflation-proof savings. And even if we could, it's inaccessible at the moment. Many of us don't know where to find it. We don't know how to get our hands on it. And once we have it, where do we store it and what do we do with it? And lastly, it's difficult to use in its current format. You can't just go down to the service station or the baker or the butcher and pull out an ounce of gold and expect to get change in return for your next tank of petrol or loaf of bread, etc. So clearly, gold is the answer, but we need to get it in a more usable format. Here's the solution, and it really is just as simple as this. Exchanging our devaluing and declining paper currency for real gold bullion in an affordable, accessible, transaction-friendly format, that's called a Karatbar. We simply exchange some of our declining dollars to create a savings account, giving up a couple of coffees and putting some money aside in gold, because we can now afford it. And at the time that we need it, exchanging these Karatbars and some of our gold bullion back into currency, having fully hedged ourselves against the ravages of inflation. You see, here's what we're really up to. Karatbars International specialises in making 99.9% pure LBMA currency-grade gold readily available to the people of the world by producing it in smaller, more accessible, more affordable and transaction-friendly weights. This puts gold within reach of people who couldn't previously afford it. Literally, we're making gold available to the masses. What was once a rich man's game is now available to everyone. Now, this video was not designed to answer all of your questions. It just can't do that. It was really designed to pique your interest and to get your curiosity. So my question is, did we actually get your attention? And if we did, here's what I'd like to suggest that you do. Get back to the person who shared this link with you and tell them that you'd like more information, and they'll make that readily available for you. We have a ton of resources available, lots of information. We just drip it in a way that's not overwhelming. We simply ask that you listen. You can get started by just setting up your own free gold savings account. Yep, that's true. It's free, no costs at all. You can start with nothing. There's no fee to get started. You can literally just set up your own gold savings account and start accumulating gold a gram at a time at the market rate. Then simply decide for yourself whether you'd like to create a leveraged income opportunity out of this, as many others have done. I've spent the last bunch of years putting together national and international businesses and figuring out over the last 20 years how to simplify it to the point that people can use it and leverage it to do much of the sharing and much of the information flow for them. And our commitment to you is that if you decide to come and join us as an affiliate, if you'd like to turn this into a business opportunity, we'll train you, teach you, support you and mentor you all the way to success so that you can do this for yourself. Because really what we're trying to do here is set people free from the ravages of inflation and create a meaningful future for themselves. Because really at the end of the day, what this is all about is creating a debt-free, financially secure society, starting with you and then with the rest of the world. Thank you very much. We look forward to working with you. Please do get back to the person who shared this link with you, and I'll look forward to talking to you soon.
Hey everybody. I hope some of you, and some of you did in fact comment, noticed in the middle of it where I said $25,000 an ounce. If you go and watch this video on the goldrocks.me website, you'll see that it's actually been corrected. It's $2,500 an ounce. And yes, Coraline, you're correct. Well done. The writing says 92% and the voiceover says 98%. That's because in US dollars it was 92% and in AUD it was 98%, and I could go back and fix that. So I will attempt to do that and get that sorted in the next few days on the goldrocks.me website. So that video is on the homepage. If you go to goldrocks.me, that video is right there on the homepage. So people can watch this. In the next 48 hours, we will have the ability to link your affiliate, your goldrocks.me affiliate link to that video as well. We'll in fact stick a link on the landing page that you send people to anyway, the one that's got the great Camilla testimonial on it, and we'll make sure that everyone gets access to it. So we're upgrading the Gold Rocks website even further. We've created something that nobody else in the world has, and we're trying to make it as slick as we can. But that's a short video to get people's attention, and we hope you really like it. So now let's move on to a few of the numbers. So last week we talked about the US economy, and we went through some stats that the unemployment applications reached over 26 million. Florida, they can't even get their claims through, and in Ohio you now have to file it by the letter that your surname starts. So Mike Maloney predicted that the jobless rate could be approaching 26% or over more than 26%. So I thought, okay, I better go back and just check that. So here's what I found today from Fortune magazine in a report about the US economy. So the real unemployment rate has gone past 24.9%. The US has now lost 33.5 million jobs. That's more than the population of Australia. So before this 7-week stretch of 33.5 million jobless claims, there were already 7.1 million unemployed Americans. Now, you have to understand how the US works out what the unemployment rate is. And when you have a job in America, your employer pays into a fund for you a small percentage of your income into an unemployment account. So in the event that you get unemployed, that's where you get your unemployment benefits from. Now, the great problem with that is, once you run out of money, if you've only had a job for 2 years and you become unemployed, your unemployment benefits run out very quickly. But once you move off that unemployment package, you are no longer counted as unemployed because you're not being paid unemployment benefits. So it's a great way for the administration to improve their jobless figures, but it doesn't really reflect the truth. So when you combine those figures, it's more than 40 million unemployed, an unemployment rate of 24.9%. So that's just under the Great Depression peak of unemployment, which was at 25.6. Now, if there's anyone on this call who thinks that's an okay number, I would be shocked. And if you think our numbers in Australia are any better than that, you need to actually go away and work out what's really going on in the world, because our system is tied to America. We are tied to two tigers, the US and the Chinese. So let's look at the market outlook. I found this today on goldsilver.com. He's suggesting in America that you can expect the energy companies to go broke first, because they are the ones most impacted by this, then retail and hospitality. And at some stage, those bankruptcies are going to become so ugly that the banks will push out and stop people going broke. Banks have already slowed their credit lines to corporates as they did in 2008, 2009, because they already know that some of their debtors will not be able to pay. No one in the world has lived through what we are seeing today. We are a part of history. We are seeing history. We are a part of it. And yes, Brent, that is a quarter of the population. But what's scarier is that's 1/4 of the population. That's not a quarter of the people that are eligible to get a job. It's a lot more than that when you work it out on the people that are going to apply for jobs. It's absolutely not 25%. It's a lot more than that. But yes, 1/4 of the population is unemployed. That's why they've called out the National Guard in a number of states. That's why lots of things have changed in America, so that there is a process that they're going through to try and keep this under control. And guess what? It's not working very well. So what about Australia? Well, according to the Treasury, that's our Treasury, the Australian government's Treasury, the unemployment rate was set to hit 10% by June. Now, what's the date? Let me just check. Oh, it's the 11th of May. The 11th of May. Unemployment rises to 5.2% in March. We're now on the 11th of May. Now, I don't know what the guys at Treasury were thinking, but here's what Roy Morgan Research came out with yesterday. 24.7% of the workforce. 24.7%. Now, it's down 3 million from what it was last week because of the government subsidising businesses and giving them money to keep their people on the books. So have a guess who has to pay the JobKeeper subsidy. That's right, it would be you and I, because with that in place, there is nothing that has ever happened like this in Australia. It's unprecedented. It's staggering when you look at the result of the unemployment figures. And yes, Greg, the number of unemployed in the US will exceed the total population of Australia by a major chunk of margin. So welcome to 2020, you tinfoil hat wearing aficionados. Every week the news gets worse and I love it, Because don't panic, Jonesy. We got gold, baby. That is what protects us from what's going on with these individuals in Canberra that I suspect they filed some application before they were born to get a job as a politician, and it's come true. So let's have a look at the outcome. Gold. This is today. This was taken a screenshot today, and in Australian dollars. So, oh my heavens, look at that. In the last 30 days, the price of gold has gone down 2.59%, which is interesting because it's already at record levels. It has never been at these prices. So in the last 20 years, in Australian dollars, gold has had a 448% increase. Now just think, if you went to talk to somebody and said, I could show you an investment that's 39.7% annual return, what would they think? Here's what FX Street, they're a publishing organization in America, what they published on the 8th of May, it was a few days ago. Their prediction is there's no other way than up. Gold will continue to increase. They're talking about it hitting $10,000 to $15,000 an ounce in the next few years. So if you have some potential reason why you don't think gold is a good idea, I'll be very happy to interview you on a webinar one evening. I found a couple of other interesting videos today, interesting screenshots. I'd love to get it clearer for you, but that's the best I could do. This is the value of the euro against gold. So the line up the top there at 0, this one along here, that is gold. And the value of the euro compared to gold, as you can see, from 2000 down to 2020, it has fallen 85%. Let me just restate that, 85%. And I had someone in a meeting some weeks ago, I think it was our last or second last meeting, challenged me that he doesn't see currencies that will fail. He thinks I'm exaggerating. Well, I don't know what you call minus 85%, but I would call that a fail mark. So here's the next one that's even worse. Again, would love to have this in a clearer format for you. I could redo it, I suspect. But here's the German mark prior to World War II. That's what happened compared to the value of gold. Here's the Japanese yen. And yes, it's down here at 0 and trundling along because it's manipulated. There's the pound sterling, the purple line. Good heavens, look where all of these currencies end up compared to the gold. 0. Surprise, surprise. It's what happens in the world today as we know it. So let's talk about money, cash, whatever you want to call it. It's money, but it's not gold. In the last 20 years, gold has approximately increased at 10% a year. Approximately. You can argue the toss with me on whether it's 9.5, 11.2, or whatever you want to figure it out, but it averages about 10% a year. So in 2000, 31 grams of gold was 450 AUD, and today it's about 2,652, roughly. That's a tidy increase in value. And by the way, let's have a look at what has your money done. Your cash has lost 54.28% of its buying power during that period. 54.28%. Do the maths, check it out yourself. Make sure I'm not making this stuff up. It's ugly. And our government is manipulating that because they want 2 to 3% inflation every year, which means you're going to lose 54.28% of your buying power every 20 years. Are they guaranteeing you that you will have a 54% increase in your income in that same period? No, they don't. They're politicians. That's why we found Karatbars. Gold tied to a blockchain gives you freedom and security. Nothing else like it in the world. So what do? set up a free Karatbars account. There's absolutely no fees. You can join as a customer or as an affiliate. I'm going to suggest you might want to join as an affiliate, because if you start buying gold in big volumes, you're going to buy it at a better rate than if you are a customer. If you open other income streams, by the way, remember, it's free, you're going to pick up revenue from the purchases of gold from people around you. There's more products available, and you can trade gold or crypto if that's what you want to do. I personally don't see myself as a trader. I buy into what I want to use. And at the moment, I'm putting every spare cent I've got into a gold-backed system. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a financial advisor. Gold Rocks isn't a financial organization. What we're exploring here is we're talking about our understanding, our education level, what we've discovered in the program, what we've discovered once we got outside of the blinkers that the government gives us. So here's the wealth principles. Make sure you pay yourself first. Order a gram of gold every month. Pay yourself first. Create your own financial independence. Establish a residual income. You can do that with the Karatbars program. I've done it. Brent's done it. Roger did it. Jan McCloskey's done it. Lots of people on this call have done that. Established a residual income from this business. Limit your tax exposure by having a home-based business. If you're a Karatbars member, baby, that's what you got. You have a home-based business, and it will make a profit, and you can claim tax deductions. And guess what that also does is it gets you in the business of staying in front of inflation. Keep outside of that. So make sure that you understand the benefit of just being a free Karatbars member. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. You're not committed to anything. Do whatever you like in the system. If you do nothing else, register. You will gain an advantage from that. So here's some corporate news for you. The MasterCard orders are temporarily disabled. So I was on a call yesterday with one of our members who's got a wad of euros sitting in his wallet. And when I saw it, I thought, oh, mate, you need to order a MasterCard. You're going to be spending that. That's a chunk of money. And we went to try and order the card, and it's disabled. And then I noticed the alert on the website. They are working on that part of the website, and it's temporarily disabled. It will be back up very soon. So please pay attention to that. We've got a couple of new countries. Now, if you are a fan of the French-speaking peoples of the world, you will like these two, because it's Guadeloupe and French Polynesia. Guadeloupe is in the Caribbean. French Polynesia is in Polynesia. And they're French-based organisations, French-based islands that were part of the old French, I suppose you'd call it an empire around the world originally. They're now independent or semi-independent countries. Just make sure you understand where these are. But they've just come on board, full availability, and it's expanding. People, we're getting bigger every single day. So let's have a look at our social oxygen media, the marketing program. Remember, this is a marketing program. So when you look at marketing, don't expect it to immediately generate 50 new members for you. It will not do that. What we're doing is showing people how to expose their views and their contacts to what they're doing with gold. So having said that, over the weekend, we had a great outcome. We had 3 new members register in varying parts of the world from that social media program. So that is very, very cool. So I'm going to ask Mr. Greg Wilson to come on. Greg, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I have unmuted myself.
There we go. So why don't you tell us about how does this media program actually work? How does it connect me? Because I was one of the people that got a new member. I have no idea how this guy got my link other than through this program. I've not sent it out any other way. There's no other way he could have registered, but somehow or other, he's followed.
What I'm going to be doing in the next few days is putting together a written form of a campaign that people should follow, right? And people have this thing like, oh, I'm XYZ, I'll just tweet something out or I'll put it on Facebook and I should get 1 million responses. Well, it doesn't happen that way. What you've got to do is look for a target audience, start following those people. Some will follow you back, some won't. And you just keep in little groups. You do it 50 at a time. You say, okay, let's look for, do a search on followers or whatever, and you start following a group of people that you see potentially will be your market. When they start following you back, you start getting results. And that's really the essence of the whole thing. And if anyone is having any issues with social auction, I'm here to reach out to give you support and get you all connected up and sort through or work through any issues you're having.
Very good, mate. Thanks very much for that update. We have had some interesting issues with Social Oxygen when we started. Some of the links didn't work, etc., but they fixed all that. You've supplied them with a number of images to improve the quality of the images they're using. But I've been on social media for probably 5 or 6 years. I've never really understood it, don't like it at all. But nobody's ever paid attention to anything I posted. Now I find I just follow through on the prompts that they give me, and I get people that comment, people that like the post, people that have an interest in what I'm talking about, and I'm staggered by that.
Yeah. Derek, at the end of the day, it's about growing your audience, and social media is a fine line tool that can grow people's audiences a lot quicker than you can meet people.
Yep. Greg, what's your email address?
My email address is gold@wilsonshq.com.
wilsonshq.com. I'm just putting that in the chat window. There's a couple of people that have asked questions, and so copy down that.
Direct them to me, and you can reach out to me on the phone or email. In hopefully the next 10 days, when Amanda from the Brain Trust writes something for me, we are creating a Facebook group called Karatbars Australia, and it's only open to affiliates in this group. And what we're going to do there is put up threads of what we talk on Monday night, so people can get in there and say, oh, look, I don't understand this or I don't understand that. And we're going to have a bunch of moderators like Brent, like Derek, Caroline, all that. Caroline doesn't know she's going to be a moderator. But it's about communications, and we can have a closed Facebook group where we can create threads and everyone can stay in touch a lot quicker.
Yep. Excellent. Coral and I will email you a link in the morning, and I'll give you a call afterwards about how the advertising program works and what it does. I'm absolutely over the moon excited by the potential of what it will deliver for us. It's exposing all of us to a new market.
Yeah. With social auction, you're paying $32 a month, and they're writing your content for you. Now, how much time does it take to write content? A lot of time, more than $32 a month. And I can't encourage everyone enough to get involved with the social auction campaign, because they're writing half-reasonable content. I'm constantly emailing the owner backwards and forwards, getting things changed and getting things updated. And my background in social media, well, on Twitter, I've got 2.7 million people following me. So I know what I'm doing. And Brent has known for years how involved I am on social media. So get on to Brent and he'll tell you all about me.
Very, very good. Okay, thanks everybody. Any other questions for Mr. Wilson? Okay, what's Harry saying? They've made an error with his link and his phone number. Okay, so did you send, Harry, did you send them an email? Yes, okay, good. They'll get back to you very quickly and fix that. Yeah, the only way there can be an error is when the information is entered. But anyway, we'll sort that out for you, Harry. Okay, thanks everybody. We have had a great night. There's lots of new and exciting things arrived with the presentation from the company. We've got new countries, we've got new programs coming on board, and we'll be able to be exchanging our coins into gold in June. I'm really excited about that because we'll be, according to Mr. McGinty, we will have the ability to be completely back on track in June. So by back on track, I mean we will be back to where we were talking about creating gold with our KBC. And that's exactly why we all need to be paying attention. So once we've done that, we will work through, we'll do a little, once we in fact know how it's happening, we'll work through and do a little video and put it up on Gold Rock so everyone can follow it. We don't know how the program's going to work yet. We don't know how the vault is going to perform because it looks like they're going to get rid of bonus univals. They'll convert them into Karatpay univals, which is a good thing, by the way. And we will make sure that everyone's got the information so they can get the first mover advantage on it. So thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks Gloria from New Zealand. And thanks everyone for coming along. We will see you on the golden beaches of the world. Have a great night.